Welcome to Real Talk, Real People. My name is Sophie Julia Zietin and I'm the CEO of Service Excellence. Today, I have a very special guest, Florian Wille, General Manager of the Kempinski Palais Hansen in Vienna. And we will be talking about resilience in action. What does resilience actually mean? Florian, I'm very pleased to have you here. You are a General Manager with more than 21 years of experience in the hospitality sector. You've been to Amman, Bahrain, you've been to Bodrum, and now you are in Vienna since 2018, your hometown. Florian, please share a little bit about yourself and your career with the audience.
Thank you so much for having me, Sophie, and for your kind words of introduction. A lot said. Yeah, I've been a hotelier by passion, and it's something that kind of happened to me. It was not the path that I had always envisaged, but everything I did came together, and it led me to gastronomy and hotels in the end. I studied in Austria, I studied in Oxford, I studied in Reims. I had the pleasure to work in London for a long time. I did a detour through finance, also not by choice, that happened. I had to do practical training at university. I never understood finance, it never made sense to me, but that was the theory. In reality, it completely made sense, and I even started to enjoy it. So 3 years after I graduated, I was a financial controller of a 5-star hotel in London, which shows that in practice, if it makes sense to me, it works in a way. So I stayed 10 years in London for different groups, different brands, also privately owned hotels, and then moved via Frankfurt to Budapest. And then I did this tour through Middle East that you just described. It was Bahrain, it was Qatar, it was Jordan, it was Bodrum in the end, and now back to Vienna, which was kind of almost a dream and a wish to come true. Now being a general manager that started as a waiter, has a financial experience, so I can talk with controllers the same language, which helps a lot also for owners and asset managers, etc. So the package I've acquired, I think, is quite fit for today's requirements.
Now, with your experience and looking at what the world is facing at the moment, what we have been facing for the last 2 years, unfortunately already, a lot has changed. We had to keep up, we had to think about new innovative ideas of how to not only build up or keep the momentum of delivering great service or service excellence, but also keeping up the momentum of empowering our teams and motivating them and stay at a certain level of engagement. And that brings us to our topic today. And I think you can share a lot with our audience and our network: resilience. So when you think about not only the past 2 years, but your career back, what does resilience mean to you in terms of hospitality or a role as a general manager?
I think resilience is probably one of the greatest sources of innovation, definitely of change. I mean, by definition, resilience is the capability to recover quickly. This is not a space for resistance to change. You have to embrace this. The pandemic you mentioned is definitely the biggest disruptor we've had. I've been in London on September 11th. I've seen the financial crisis in Hungary. I've been in the Arab Spring in Bahrain during a hotel opening. Constant disruption, which requires resilience, constant resilience. But for me, it was resilience as a capability is a state of mind. It's a conscious decision every single day in the morning that this will be a good day. And you will go to bed in the evening and you will say, yep, I've learned something, I've changed something, I questioned something, I go to bed as a better person than I got up in the morning. That's the idea. And person being everything, that is professionally, but privately, in any area, in any aspect of your life. But it's also this process of recovering quickly. Because the idea of recovery for me is not necessarily to get back to where you started off or where you were before the disruption took place. So you should embrace that process as an opportunity to improve, to get better. yeah, everybody says, yeah, we want to come out stronger of this crisis, but yeah, I believe really there's an opportunity. I mean, it would be a waste to see such a crisis go without having learned anything completely. So I believe it's a state of mind, whether that is something you grow up with, you get from as a child, or whether it's something you're born with, that I don't know.
So you mentioned disruption, you mentioned coming out of it again, over and over again, but also having resilience as a mindset. So you mentioned that already, saying, I want to get up as becoming a better person and go to bed having been a better person than I was before. So is resilience something that you can train, or is it really only a mindset, or is there something in between? What do you think?
I'm sure it can be trained. It's definitely something that's contagious. So if you have this mindset, or if you enable yourself to go into work or into life, into the world every morning with that mindset, you can certainly see that you can take others with you, bring them onto your train, onto that spirit. And it's even something that recuperates. It's something that you might have to make a conscious effort in the morning to give something, but it reciprocates. You get it back and it multiplies over the day. And this is something that is certainly contagious, I would say. Can you train it? I'm pretty sure you can train it. I think it's easier if it comes naturally, for sure. But having said that, it's still an effort. It's a conscious effort you have to make. It's a decision you make in the morning. We will change something today. We will, in either way, that we will grow, we will improve, we will make something different today from yesterday.
Okay, perfect. So actually, maybe the way you empower resilience through communication, through being a role model, through showing or demonstrating what resilience actually means, you can engage through positive contagious behavior. Let's call it positive contagious behavior, with all the contagions talk and disease talk. But so maybe there are certain steps that will lead you to becoming a better or more resilient person. Maybe there are certain steps or technique skills that can enable you to become a resilient person. But yes, at the end of the day, I believe, and I share your belief, to say it's a mindset, and you actually need to do it every day and keep on improving and learning from a situation, nevertheless, how disruptive the situation is. So you, in your role as a general manager today at the Kempinski Palais Hansen, what is your advice for leaders? What is your advice for people in all different positions, not only in the hospitality sector, but in general? What is your advice in terms of resilience?
I think awareness is very, very critical. Awareness in the sense of where were we, what happened, what is happening, what do we think is happening, and where do we want to go? And this might change. I mean, it's very important to have a vision, but the road to that vision might change through these disruptions, and the path might get longer or it might get short. You might find a shortcut you haven't seen before. So I think the awareness is critical. It's listening to the people, being very, very close to your team, to your guests, to your clients in different industries. And yeah, I think that this constant self-reflection, constant self-questioning is always important. You need to see, not only to look. You need to give a message, not only talk. And I think this. I strongly believe in this leading by example. I really believe in that. If people see, it can be done, we can do that. If he can do that, we can do that. I think that is very, very strong.
Absolutely. You're perfect. Amazing. So we have a couple of points already to take away from your future advice for building up resilience or staying resilient. And awareness, looking at the situation. You have mentioned, if you have a vision, and I just included in my own words to summarize it, if you have a vision, you keep the end in mind, and day by day continue to take action to succeed in your vision. So I think from your experience, building up resilience is something that you need to continuously do. It's a process, it's a mindset, And regardless of what industry you're in, if you know where you want to go, you keep on working on that step by step and day by day. Thank you, Florian, for your insights. Thank you again for elaborating on your experience and sharing with us on what actually resilience means, what is your experience with that, and your valuable advice for our network. I want to thank you for taking part in Real Talk, Real People by Service Excellence, and I hope I see you very soon again, not only virtually.
With pleasure. Thank you so much, Sophia.